Hello dear students and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we shall discuss chapter number 12, conditional sentences of your total English textbook. Now students, what do you understand by conditional sentences? The very word conditional sentences implies that the sentence is incomplete without a condition attached to it. Now what is the condition? What about the condition is what we will study in this video. Now, conditional sentences have got two parts or clauses. Now, what is the first part? First part will begin always with if, which is the condition, which will describe a possible situation. And part 2 of the sentence or the clause will describe the consequence of it. Now, as we have read that clauses are of two kinds, one is dependent clause and one is independent clause. Now, why am I teaching you about clauses over here? Because conditional sentences always have two clauses. Okay, so one clause on its own will not make any sense, even though it has a group of words with having the subject and the verb also in it, but it will not express a complete thought. That is called as a dependent clause. That means it has to join an independent clause to form a complete sentence. Now, what is an independent clause? Independent clause is a clause which can make sense on its own. It can express a complete thought. Now, when we join a dependent clause with an independent clause, then we will find a meaningful sentence. Now, how do we identify these kind of sentences? They will begin with a subordinating conjunction like because, if, or a relative pronoun like when or whenever. So what am I saying? How can we identify conditional sentences? That means they will begin with a subordinate conjunction. Subordinating conjunction. What is conjunction? Conjunctions are nothing but joining words or linkers. Okay, they will link two parts of a sentence. So these conditional sentences will begin with either because or with if or a relative pronoun like when or whenever. Now there are four types of conditional sentences. Zero conditional, type 1, type 2, type 3. How do we identify these four kinds of conditional sentences? The zero conditional uses present tense in both the clauses. I told you every conditional sentence has two clauses. So the tense in both the clauses will be in the present tense always. Okay, please keep this in mind that in both the clauses, the zero conditional present tense is used. It is used to talk about something that is always or generally true. The present tense signifies that these actions are both possible. What two actions? The actions taking place in both the clauses of the conditional sentence. And what is the form or how do we write zero conditional? It will be with the subordinating conjunction if plus simple present followed by simple present in the other clause also. Now, see for example, if it rains is one clause and I take an umbrella with me to work is another clause. Now, as I told you students that there are two clauses in conditional sentences and one will be a dependent clause and the other will be an independent clause. Independent clause will make sense on its own. We can understand if I tell you, I take an umbrella with me to work, you are understanding what I am saying. But if I simply tell you, if it rains, are you understanding? What if it rains? When it rains, what happens? I am not able to convey any meaning to you. So, if it rains on its own is an incomplete sentence. But if I join this clause, if it rains, to an independent clause, I take an umbrella with me to work, then this whole clause, whole sentence which is made up of these two clauses makes complete sense. If it rains, what do? I take an umbrella with me to work. Example 2, if I wake up early, I always read in bed. Now, I always read in bed makes sense. If I wake up early on its own, am I able to convey any sense to you? No. So, if I wake up early when joined with I always read in bed makes a complete meaningful sentence. Now, the four formats of the conditional sentences of 0, 1, 2 and 3 type are if for zero conditional, if for all the conditionals, it will start with a subordinating conjunction if, as you can see, and 0 and 1 are always in the first clause, they are in the simple present tense, followed by simple present for 0 conditional, and for first type 1 conditional, it is will plus the base verb. Second conditional and third conditional are in past tenses. The second conditional or type 2 conditional is in simple past, followed by modal. What do you mean by modals? They are your like can, could, may, would. These are all your modal verbs. They will come before the base verb in the clause. Third conditional is also in the past tense, but it is joined to the subordinating conjunction if in the past perfect tense and followed by the modal verb plus the present verb in the clause. Now, what are 0 and 1 conditionals? They are situations which are possible. They can happen. They deal with things that are generally true or they could be true in the future. This is the only difference you have to remember with 0 and 1 conditionals and type 1 and type 2 and type 3 conditionals. That 0 and 1 conditionals are possible situations. 2 and 3 conditionals are impossible. They are hypothetical conditions. Matlab, we are trying to imagine that they could have happened. 2 and 3, type 2 and type 3. But type 0 and type 1 are possible. They deal with things that are generally true. So that is how you will analyze the sentence. Is this situation possible? Is it true? Can it happen in the future? Then yes, it is type 0 and type 1 conditional. If it is type 2 and type 3, then we will try and analyze, is it an impossible situation? Is it a hypothetical situation? Imaginary situation? Is it concerned with events in the past which we cannot change? Then it is type 2 or type 3 conditional. This is how you will first approach the sentence. Now, first conditional sentence is used for a possible situation in the future whose format is if plus present simple plus will or won't, depending on whether it is a positive sentence or a negative sentence, plus the verb. Now, example, if I practice tennis every day, okay, I will become a good tennis player. Now, this is a situation. See, this sentence is given to you. If I practice tennis every day, I will become a good tennis player. First thing is what? You have identified that there are two clauses. If I practice tennis every day and I will become a good tennis player. These are the two clauses. One is the dependent clause and the other is the independent clause. Which now when I join the dependent clause to the independent clause, the whole sentence is meaningful. Okay, so in first conditional, it is a possible situation in the future which is depending on if I practice tennis every day. Now, practice is in simple present tense. And in the second clause, I will become a good tennis player in the future. So, this is the type 1 condition where this will is coming before the verb become. Now, second conditional sentences, like I told you students, they are used for unlikely or unrealistic situations for now or in the future. And the format they take is if plus past simple and it will be followed by would plus the verb. If I had more time, I would do more gardening. So, this is two clauses again, and can you identify in what tense this is? This is had more, so it is in past simple tense. And would do more gardening. This is would is the modal verb over here. Like I told you, modal verb followed by the verb. If they worked harder, they would finish the syllabus on time. Two clauses. If they worked harder, they would, and the other one is they would finish the syllabus on time. So, worked is in past simple tense. They would finish is the modal verb. Now, third conditional is imaginary situations that did not happen. Okay, we are just imagining them. Then what will be? The clauses will be if plus past perfect and the second clause will have would have plus the past participle. If I had studied well, I would have become a teacher. This becomes past perfect tense, would have become. Okay, now let us do assignment A based on this explanation. Make sentences by using if by joining each pair of ideas given below. Type 1, as I'm just refreshing your memory again before we go over to the exercise, is used for a possible situation in the future and the format is if plus present simple followed by will or won't plus verb. Now, why have I given you this chart? Because I want to tell you where we shall use will and shall in the future or in the past or in the present and with which pronoun is will and shall used, because there are some questions related to situations in the future. I shall We shall, he will, she will, you will, it will, they will. So only I and we use shall because we talk about shall in the future tense. Okay. He will, she will, you will, it will, they will are more situations in the present tense. Now, students, before you go over to this exercise, you have to keep in mind, or you can jot down in a piece of paper, this particular format. If present, simple plus will, won't plus verb for type 1, which has been asked for you in the question. Okay. And then you will do this. She not come, be disappointed. If she does not come, we will be disappointed. What are the two clauses? If she does not come and we will be disappointed. Which is the subordinating conjunction here? If. And this is in simple present tense and the second clause is in will. Okay. It is a holiday tomorrow. What we do? If it is a holiday tomorrow, what shall we do? Question mark. Now, why am I using shall? Because shall is used with we. Now, you not careful, fall and hurt yourself. If you are not careful, you will fall and hurt yourself. You not agree, I not sell the house. If you do not agree, I will not sell the house. He travel by plane, get there tomorrow night. If he travels by plane, he shall get there tomorrow night. Now, sorry students, this is he will get there tomorrow night. Not he shall, this is he will. Now, she does not have a passport, not able to go there. If she does not have a passport, she will not be able to go there. So, this is how you approach your type 1 questions. Keep the format in a piece of paper next to you, or if you already know the format, apply it to type 1 conditional sentences and then it becomes very easy for you to do it. Now, type 2, the second part of the assignment is on type 2. Type 2 is used for unlikely or unrealistic situations for now in the future. And the format is if plus past simple and followed by would or followed by the verb. I know his address yesterday, I write to him. If I had known his address yesterday, it's an unlikely situation. I would have written to him. Now, this particular 7th question and your type 3, the 11th question. Okay, they are the same. I will tell you which is more correct. Now, this particular 7th question will not be in type 2, it will be in type 3. When I come to type 3, I will tell you why. He enough money buy the car right away. If he had enough money, he would have bought the car right away. I speak to that minister right now, he be angry. If I spoke to that minister right now, see, had known, he had, I spoke, you saw, these are all simple past tense. And then they are followed by the would, which is the modal verb. Might is a modal verb. So, it is basically not just would but the modal verb and followed by the base verb or by the verb. So I would have written to him. He would have bought the car right away. He might get angry. You see him now, not recognize. If you saw him now, you would not recognize him. Now type 3 are imaginary situations that did not happen. If plus past perfect followed by would have plus past participle. If I know his address yesterday, I write to him. Now see students, this is the situation I was talking about. This is an imaginary situation. If I had known his address yesterday, I would have written to him. So this is actually a type 3 conditional sentence, not a type 2, which is given in your number 7. Now, past perfect, that is by had, known, would have, and then past participle of write is written. So this is how you will approach these assignments. 12. Train late yesterday, miss important meeting. If the train had not been late yesterday, see, past perfect had not been. I would not have missed an important meeting. Would have becomes would not have. Okay, and past participle of miss is missed. Doctor not act promptly at scene of incident, boy died. If the doctor had not acted promptly at scene of incident, the boy could have died. Thief not sneeze, police never know he was hiding. If the thief had not sneezed, police would have never known he was hiding. So this is the condition based upon which the police got to know that he was hiding. I not sure of succeeding, not attempt that problem yesterday. If I had not been sure of succeeding, I would not have attempted that problem yesterday. Now, assignment part 2, join each pair of sentence into a single sentence using the subordinating conjunction if. You refuse to pay the money, then you will be imprisoned. If you refuse to pay the money, you will be imprisoned. Perhaps he will agree, I shall be delighted then. If he will agree, I shall be delighted. Now, based on this, if he will agree, I shall be delighted. Based on if you refuse to pay the money, you will be imprisoned. So, depending on a certain condition, the second part of the sentence is happening. So, this is how you will approach the part 2 also. I am not going to read it out to students. All the answers are given and I have taught you how to analyze the sentence. So, please go through it. All the answers are given to you. Now, third part, we write these sentences beginning with unless. If the car is not repaired, it will stop working. So, depending, we have to write these sentences beginning with unless. So, unless the car is repaired, it will stop working. This is the condition. We are studying conditional sentences. So, what is the condition? That unless the car is repaired, it will stop working. You must ask him if you want his help. Unless you ask him, he will not help. He would never come to see us if we did not invite him. Unless we invite him, he would never come to see us. So the first part of the sentence will begin with unless, with a condition, depending on which the consequence or the result is seen. So this is how all these also have to be approached. Answers are given to you, students. Please first try to analyze and then go through it. It is very easy. It is only that it will start with unless, it will have a condition depending on which the result follows in the second clause. So with this, we come to the end of your conditional sentences chapter, students. If you like my channel, please like, share and subscribe. Keep notification button on for more such notifications in the future. And let me know what other topics you would like me to make videos on. I'm linking two related videos to conditional sentences in my cards over here. You can, at the end of the video, I'll be linking it. Please go through it. In my channel's playlist also, there are many more English concept and English worksheets videos. You need not necessarily attempt only class 9 videos. To clear your concepts, you can go through class 6, class 7, class 8 English grammar videos also. Starting from class 4 also, where I have taught the basic fundamentals of English grammar, which will help you make your concepts even more clear and you need not get hassled when you attempt these exercises. Thank you, students, and all the best.